Morning, dear friends. Fisher here. Today we continue with our beautiful story, The Power of the Spirit, by ALFRED, HOSP, also known as Freddy in the book. And we mentioned previously Bruno concerned about the true love overcomes what is difficult and achieves that which lies in God's plan. And when Bruno talking to Freddy's mom, and his mom said, "Oh, I have only one wish, Mr. Groning, and that is my son Freddy will acquire his full health again, and I really do not need anything else." And Groning looked at her and said, "Yes, you have said it quite correctly. Freddy may acquire his health, but you may never require it, but must leave everything to God in complete trust. At the birth of your son, you were delivered by a midwife who served evil, although this woman had chosen her profession herself. Every newborn child was for her not a divine creation, but merely a piece of flesh that was making work for her again. So she reluctantly grabbed Freddy, who had just then been born, with her big, powerful right hand. With unbelievable roughness, she carried him to the wash basin, holding him by his back in one hand, mind you, and without supporting the baby's sensitive head. And then it happened while the midwife was turning on the tap with her left hand, and the child fell out her right hand and struck the edge of the wash basin with the back of his head. Two injuries were the fateful consequences. Firstly, this woman had damaged Freddy's pelvic region, and secondly, he suffered damage to his motor nervous system, and his disability is a result of this. Yes, dear friend, and Bruno continues talking to Freddy's mom and pointing out to Freddy's mom, and Freddy's may acquire his health, and you should never require. That is what's happened, because anything require, we cannot require a divine healing. That is a demand. But we can acquire the divine healing by doing Einstellen, by absorbing God's divine energy to achieve a good health. That is acquire. Acquire means obtaining. How often people just wanting things around you? They just, oh, I want this, I want that. But they never do it. They never put it in practice. They say, oh, your partner might say, or your children might say, oh, mom and dad, oh, love, oh, I want to have a pasta. So, but do you put it in practice? Do you go and cook yourself? No, you don't. You're expecting others to do it. That is demand. That is requiring. And if you do yourself, okay, oh look, today I want pasta. I go and cook pasta. I cook for me and cook for my partners, my children, my mom and dad, and my neighbors. That is acquire. That is obtaining. You acquiring anything with your work. That is acquiring. That is God's divine way. Never require. Never demand. Oh, please do this for me. Please do that for me. Yes, we all need help, dear friends. Everybody needs help. Sometimes we need others' help. That is okay. That is right. But do not require too much. Do not always ask others to do things for you, and always ask questions. What do you do for yourself? That's always what I ask for myself. What do I do for myself? Okay, if I want the food, I go and cook myself. If I want this and that, and now I go and do it, and now I put it in practice. I taking actions. Do your best first, before you ask for anything else from other people. There's some people out there, they just believe they have a right to demand anything from others. That is absolutely wrong. Nobody has a right to demand nothing from others. But of course, if you need help, go and ask. If you can't move a big furniture, go and ask your friends, your neighbors. Okay, because it's out of your capacity. It's not like you can make yourself a cup of tea, but always demanding your partners to do so, to make it for you. That is demanding. So in regard of health, we should never demand, because God's divine healing is always a grace. We should never ever demand from God, but always ask and obtain health from God by taking actions, by absorbing God's good divine energies. That is the right way to do things. That is the right attitude to live a life. Always think, what can you do for yourself? What can you do for others? Not what others can do for you. As I quote what Kennedy said, do not always ask what America can do for you, but you can do for America. Ask yourself, what can you do for yourself and others? I'm sure there are many things you can do for yourself and others. There are many things you can achieve. So start acquire and stop require and demanding. And leave everything to God's trust. For anything beyond our capacities, especially, leave to God and with complete trust. That things always happen in my life. That God always works miraculously. Anything happen I never thought thing can be done that way, and then it happens. It's always happened that way. Dear friends, reflect your life and think, when you came to a difficulty and in the past and you do not know how to solve it, and then you leave it to God in His trusty hand, and then the result turned to be very favorable to you, and then you never thought about that way would be possible. Just reflect your life in the past and you will find one that God has worked on you and work with you and work in a way for your good that help you to achieve what you should achieve and what has been ordained to you, your life task, dear friends. And Bruno went on explaining how exactly Freddie was damaged by a very careless midwife, and how he was injured in his pelvic region and also suffered nerve damage as a result, and he has his disabilities. Okay, dear friends, so I wish you have a good day, and we'll continue with Bruno and Freddie's mom's dialogue in the coming chapters. I wish you have a good day, and God bless.